All right, let's move on from that and see if there are more moves to make. We move on to are we on the late? No, we're not quite on the late game yet. We have Broncos Pats next. Broncos coming off their first win of the season, and the line is out now. There is a couple -10s, but mostly -11s for the Patriots against these Broncos. Broncos coming off their first win of the season. By the way, there's no total out at this point. And Chubb, 2.5 sacks. Broncos had 6 in total. Rippon was just a roller coaster ride and got the win. 19 of 31, 242 yards, 2 TDs, 3 picks. Melvin Gordon stepped up for the first time in a long time. 107 yards on 23 carries. Tim Patrick, 6 catches for 113 yards. Drew Lock is questionable, and some have said unlikely, depending on where you're looking. KJ Hamler left with a hamstring injury. Noah Fant was carted off with an ankle injury. In the third quarter, it looked like it might be really bad. It's not really bad. He's week to week. Unlikely here. Lindsey remains questionable. Cornerback Devontae Harris and Jeremiah Atauchu are questionable. Patriots are dealing with this Cam Newton COVID test. But if you're looking at what the line is at, then I guess he's good to go. We don't have that confirmation. But if there's a book willing to put out, and there's a few of them, willing to put out Patriots at -11, I mean, that tells you that he's good to go. They played hard, and they were in that 26-10 loss at KC. Hoyer's now lost 11 straight starts for 3 different teams, 15 and 24 for 130 yards and a pick. Stidham came in and was Stidham through 2 picks but could move the ball. One of those picks was a pick 6 by Honey Badger. Damian Harris runs 17 times for 100 yards. Rex Burkhead 11 times for 45 yards. James White comes back after the death of his father, 3 times for 21 yards, caught 7 passes for 38 yards. That Damian Harris, Burkhead, and James White is a 3-headed monster. Damian Bird,
that pick 6 was not on Stidham. That pick 6 was a terrible misplay from Edelman. That's not on Stidham.
That's fair. Damian Bird, 5 catches for 80 yards. Sony Michel on the IR. Imagine this 3-headed monster without Sony Michel. They're missing guards with non-COVID related ailments. All these are non-COVID related ailments. Shaq Mason and Ewan Minor are questionable right now. And Mr. Funmonk says, Belichick off a loss always scares me. I thought they were very impressive, and Belichick did a great job against the Chiefs. Broncos, Patriots. How could the Pats be -11 here? What do you think here, Bebsy?
Well, I think Pats -11 with Cam at the helm is a good play. That's a big question mark. I thought Stidham looked better than the numbers and the results suggested, and a lot of it had to do with Edelman giving that touchdown to Honey Badgers. So if Cam's not playing, it's Stidham over Hoyer for sure. But this spot, I agree with Funmonk. I agree with Belichick coming off a hard loss, especially one that, they were expected to lose that game. It wound up being a little uglier than expected, but it's hard to cap this game without knowing what's going to happen with Cam. Is he playing? Is he not? What's he going to be wearing? I don't know. See that weird picture of him? It looks like he's on like a train to God knows where, like somewhere in Europe, and he's wearing some. I don't know. I really don't know. It's a game I'm going to have trouble capping without knowing who's playing quarterback for the New England Patriots.
I'm not making this bet because I think that Cam's going to be out, and it's not available at Bet365. Let's see if any of the other licensed books are making it available. They're not. But if I can get, as soon as it comes on the board, I think Birdie has this perfect. You take the Broncos at this big price, plus 10 or 11, and then if they announce Newton's in, I'd be shocked. If they announce that he's not in, then you buy back on the Pats at -7. It's perfect.
I mean, you've seems like you got it all figured out there, Jimmy.
It's just not available. But as soon as it becomes available where I can actually bet it, it's available in a few books I can't bet it at. Brady says Broncos have extra rest and Pats on a short week traveling to Denver. I'm going to, as soon as I can, I'm going to take the Broncos early and then figure out, throughout the rest of the week if who's going to be playing quarterback for the Patriots and whether I could get a beautiful middle. And I don't know. I need to. There's more study needs to go in. Obviously, we've got a moving part with Newton and COVID. Gate Pass Key says he needs 14 days. He will not be playing. Gate Pass is right. As soon as I can bet the Broncos, I'm going to bet the Broncos. As soon as they announce it to the public that Cam's not going to be there, you can middle. Justin Betts says the under might be a good look depending on the number. What's funny, Justin, is that I want Patriots unders with Cam Newton. I don't want him with Stidham. I want him with Hoyer. But even that makes me uncomfortable. I want Cam Newton. I want them to be able to move the ball, run the ball. So I'm going to be hesitant to take unders when Cam Newton is an under center.